Hey team, welcome back to week 3 of your Discover portion of your training. This week is probably my most favorite lesson in the Discover portion of our training. And today we're going to start to discover, really it is at the core, who you are and what you're doing in your life to distract yourself from that and to forget who you are. Okay? So today's teaching is called the Kleshas. This is a Buddhist teaching. The Kleshas are also known as the 5 afflictions. There's 5 Kleshas I'm going to teach you about today. They're afflictions, and what they are is they're afflictions that are getting in the way of your happiness. They're getting in the way of my happiness too. Okay, so the Kleshas. Let me start with something else before we get into the Kleshas. Let me start with the framework that's going to start to give you insight into who you are. Right? You are perfect. Okay? I want you to hear me say that again. You are perfect just as you are. Now, some of you may not want to hear that. Others of you may like that. You may think I'm crazy. Doesn't matter. You are already perfect. Everything you've done, everything you are doing, everything you will do is perfect. It's just as it's supposed to be. Why? Because this is where you are in this moment in your life. Like I said before, if you weren't supposed to be here right now, you wouldn't be. You would be somewhere else. You'd be in a different job. You'd be with a different person. You'd be in a different body. It doesn't matter what it is for you. Whatever you want that you don't have, if you were supposed to have it, you would. Okay? So, it's all perfect. There's no judgment here. There's no attachment, there's no labeling, there's just the fact, the plain and simple truth, that you are perfect. Alright? What does this have to do with the Kleshas? Well, the Kleshas, as you're going to discover, are the 5 afflictions that are tricking you or that are shielding you from being able to see the truth that you're perfect. It's like an old car light. It's like an old headlight on a car. You know, if you've seen that before, a new light is clear and the light shines through brightly. Okay? On an old car, there's this yellow film, this yellow haze that's over the top of the lens. As a result, the light can't shine through and the person driving can't see as well. Okay? So, these kleshas, these afflictions, these are the film that are going over your lens, the way you're seeing the world, the way you're seeing yourself, the way you're seeing everything happening and judging, labeling, trying to attach, trying to get away from things. So our work here, as you've heard me say before, is to clean ourselves up. And when I say that, that's what I mean, is you're cleaning up this film that's over your lens of how you're seeing the world. It's going to be different for every one of us, depending on how we came into this world, where we're from, our gender, our upbringing, our financial status, our fears, our experiences, our past lives, our karmas, whatever you want to throw in there, those are going to have a different film, a different covering for each of us in terms of our own unique way of looking at the world. Okay, so Kleshas, we're going to start to remove these so that we can truly discover who we are. Perfect, okay, non-judgmental, unconditional. So, the 5 afflictions. The first one is ignorance. Okay, that's a little tough. But what it really means is a disillusion. And it's ignorance in forgetting that you're perfect. It's ignorance in thinking that you are nothing greater than, well, the absolute, that you are full. Any thought that tells you you're better than or less than of anything, we're all equal, one way or another. We're all part of the same whole. Okay? Anything that tells you likewise, that's the ignorance. Anything that allows you to judge and say, I'm better than that person. I would never do that. Anything that allows you to judge and say, that person's better than me. They always do this. I can't do that. And all of that stuff. That's ignorance. Okay? It's a harsh word, but it just means disillusion. That you have a film over your lens and you're not seeing the world for how it is. Perfect. You're not seeing yourself for how it is. Perfect. Okay? So, these practices of realizing your tendencies, realizing where you're stuck, that's the way you start to remove this ignorance. Okay, same with the pranayama, with the ujjayi breath, right? even inhale, to even exhale. That's going to start to clean up your relationship to the present moment. Okay, so you can see who you are. You can be present. All right? 2, attachment. The attachment piece. All we're doing, we're like little kids in a sandbox all day long. We're trying to pull in more and more and more of the things that we want, the things that we like. When we get them, we're happy. We get a new car. We're happy for a little while. What happens after 6 months, after a year? Well, when that rush starts to wear off, when that rub, that thing that excites us, makes us feel alive, when that starts to rub off, we start looking for a new car. That one looks kind of nice. Maybe I'll have that one next time. That's going to make me a little more happier. Right? So we're trying to pull in these things that we want at all times. What happens when we don't get them? Well, then we're unhappy, right? I wanted that new car. I didn't get it. Why not? I'm worthless. I'm not good enough, right? I'm stupid. Whatever it is, I'm in my own way. We're constantly trying to get more of what we want. When we get it, we're happy for a while. And when we don't get it, then we're unhappy. So now we've got ourselves caught on this roller coaster of bringing in more and more and more of what I want. Okay, the opposite side of the same coin is aversion or repulsion, where I'm constantly throughout my day trying to push away things and people and experiences and life and things I don't want. I try to keep them away from me, right? Well, when I keep those things away from me, I'm happy for a little while. Yeah, sound fair? What happens when I can't keep things away from me that I don't like? Then I'm unhappy. It's the same thing. It's the same roller coaster. Trying to get more and more and more and more and more of the things I want, and I'm trying to keep less and less and less and less of the things I don't want away from me. It's the opposite side of the same coin. You're never going to win that battle. Right? The 4th, this is I amness, or this is your ego. This is any piece of you. This is anything in you that says, I am that. I like an iPhone. I got myself an iPhone. Now the fact that I have an iPhone, well, that's part of who I am. Once I begin to attach to anything, that becomes my ego. The more ego I have, the more film there is over my lens, the more I can't see the world for how it truly is. Perfect, whole, complete. The less I can't see myself for who I am. Perfect, whole, complete. So the more you're in ego, the more you are in I am that, you are this, we are separate, that's when you are in I amness. And we're trying to reduce that and remove that. Not your personality, not your likes, not your dislikes, but your attachments, your aversions, and your idea that you are separate. That's what we're trying to clean up. That's what we're trying to get rid of. Okay? The last one is fear, and it's fear of death. So, you and I will die at some point in our lives. Let's just accept that for what it is, a fact. Okay? The quicker we can get over that, the quicker we can accept that, the quicker we remove our fear of losing ourselves and realize that we're eternal, realize that we're perfect, then this physical body, this physical life no longer has control over who we are. Okay, now that's a big one. But continue to work with that Ujjayi breath, that Samavriti. That'll continue to clear up your relationship to this present moment. That'll continue to show you that you are perfect, you are whole, you know how to take care of yourself. Alright? So these aversions, these 5 aversions, I want you to start to notice how are they showing up in your life. So most of us are going to be stuck on 1 or 2 more so than the other ones. Just notice. Am I stuck here, here? Where am I really getting hung up on? Which ones of these are driving the bus of my life and not allowing me to discover who I am and what it is that I want for my life? Right? So for the next week, that's all I want you to do. Figure out which aversions, which ones are driving the bus. Start to clean up that film. As we move into these next teachings, these next weeks, we're going to start to put you at the driver's seat of your own bus so that you can start to discover where you want to go and then get yourself there as quickly as you want to. Alright? So, as always, be gentle with yourselves, try not to judge, and have some fun. Alright? That was the Kleshas.